All right. So, grinding through, day two here. Thought, yesterday was a really productive day for us. We certainly learned a lot going through the film. Saw a lot of good matchups, good opportunities for us to match up against different players. Schematically, saw quite a few different things. The Lions gave us, problems in a number of areas that we can go to the film and correct and adjust and so forth. So, really good, good competitive practice. I think we'll, get the same thing today. Maybe, with continued emphasis on situational work and the one-on-one matchups. But that was really good work for us yesterday, and we got better. So hopefully we can build on that and keep pushing in that direction.
Bill, Chief Winovich, just it's early obviously with him, but what has he shown? What have you liked? What does he need to work on?
He's a rookie, he needs to work on everything. So, but Chase is tough. He runs well. He's got good size, good power. Had a very productive, career at Michigan, and looking forward to seeing him out there in some game action, both on the defense and in the kicking game. But like every rookie, he's got a long way to go. A lot of things to work on. It's a different game, and competition's very, very high. So, but he'll battle it. See how it goes.
Bill, is there anything that you didn't see yesterday that you definitely would like to see more from your team today?
We can improve in every area, so that's what we'll try to do. Coaching, playing, running, passing, kicking, like you name it. There's a lot of things we can do better, and so that's what this is for. Lions are a good team. They're well coached. They have a lot of good players. They present a lot of problems. So some things we didn't handle very well. We need to handle better. Some things were okay, but and I'm sure we'll see other things today that we didn't see yesterday, which would be good. So we can work on those.
Bill, Matt Patricia was saying that you guys probably do some more situational work today. How good are the joint practices for that specifically to create some of those game situations that you maybe don't get in the preseason games?
They're great. Yeah, they're great. And to be able to see a different team in those situations is valuable. So we've worked against each other, but we do what we do. And, after you've seen enough of that, it kind of, it's a little bit, there's just other things that we need to cover that we don't do on one side of the ball or the other. And so this is an opportunity to see some of those and see different players doing them and different techniques or different schemes situationally. So that's been good. We certainly had a lot of things come up yesterday and some things on the coaching end that we didn't cover so the players didn't have a good chance to handle properly. So we'll, get those straightened out and continue with the process. Just because it hasn't come up, but they've come up now and we need to deal with it, and so we will. So that's the kind of thing that these practices are really good for.
Bill, is one of those areas communication?
Yeah, definitely. And we'll, stress that today with more crowd noise. So, yeah. Again, a lot of times it's easy for us to identify who's who because we practiced against them for all spring and 8 practices in training camp. So, you've gone against the same group for 18 practices. It's not that mysterious, but here things happen faster, and you're less familiar with the team and what they do and so forth, and so it's more challenging. But that's real football. That's what we have to deal with every week. So it's good.
When you review the practice tape, is it a similar process for you as reviewing the game tape, or is it different?
I mean, it is what it is. So what we do out there, we do. There's some things we can't do because of the restrictions we put on practice rules and live tackling and cut blocking and hitting the quarterback and things like that. So there's some finish to the plays that aren't available to see in practice that are different in the games, which is an important part of the game, is to see the finish of the plays. So much, a lot of times that determines the whole outcome of the play. So we just, what we can do, we correct and work on. What we can't do, we prepare to do, but, that won't happen until Thursday night or, the other opportunities during the year.
Bill, how would you say Sony's coming along just in terms of his development in the passing game?
I think everybody's making progress. think that all the players out there are working hard, and they're all making progress in their whatever area that they're in.
It's just that he has this summer, not having last summer. Is that, just for the passing game in particular, is that pretty important to have the whole summer for a back?
Any time is a valuable time. So whatever time we have, we try to use and players use, and hopefully it's all valuable.
How beneficial was it to have officials out at practice yesterday, given rule changes in the offseason, just to see how those things might pan out and how they might be called?
Yeah, we haven't really had a lot of new rules come up out there in practice, but it's good for the players to have the officials view the play and determine whether it's holding or illegal contact or whatever. Some of those are, they're somewhat close calls, and how the coach would see it and maybe how the player sees it in practice is one thing, but it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is how the official sees it. So if it's illegal contact, then we hit them too deep. If it's holding, then we held them. If we DPI'd them or OPI'd them, then it was too much. So I think it's good for us to understand those little small variations that what's okay and what isn't okay. Everybody's trying to be aggressive and compete and all that, but there's a certain line there that you have to stay below, and this does a good job of identifying it for us. So I thought they did a really good job out there yesterday of throwing the flags, of calling infractions, and just we need to eliminate them and try to play penalty free, but they identified them well, and so that was very helpful.
Shalik Calhoun, was he a player that you guys liked in 16 and were kind of able to revisit when he became available this offseason?
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely felt like he would have an opportunity to compete here, which he's done a good job of, and there are some other things we had to work through with him, but glad we have him, and he's very competitive in his position, so we'll see how it goes.
How much progress have you seen from Jared Stidham, just even through whatever it is now, 10 days of camp?
All right. Well, the first 10 days of camp are hard for everybody because there's new material being installed all the time, and then the other side of the ball is installing new material all the time. So, exponentially, the multiples increase very dramatically. So it's not just one side of the ball putting in a few things. It's that times all the things that are in, plus all the new things the other side of the ball installs, and so forth. So things start to settle down a little bit now. It's not everything against everything. It's a smaller menu against more specific things that our opponent does, or that, in this case, Detroit's doing. So I think the process actually narrows a little bit there. Competition picks up, and the unfamiliarity with Detroit relative to the familiarity that we have with our own team is more. But so it's emphasis in different areas. But yeah, the first part of camp is hard. It's hard for coaches, hard for players. You're trying to make adjustments to everything that can happen. Not everything's going to happen, but you have to cover it because eventually it will. But on a week-to-week basis, you just don't. You don't see the full spectrum of what you see over the course of a season. But when you install, you kind of cover everything. So the volume's high.
Have you seen Jared, I know it's only been a few days now, but have you seen him settle maybe as that focus narrows a little bit?
Well, again, the challenges change. So yeah, I think he's becoming more familiar with what we're doing. But now we're doing it against a new team, different matchups, and they do things differently than our defense does than what he's seen. So there's an adjustment period there too. Hopefully that'll be better tomorrow and better Thursday, and as he goes through the week. I mean, this is certainly a lot better to prepare for the game working against the Lions here in practice than it is, trying to run plays off cards that simulate what they do. Of us trying to simulate what they do, it's a lot easier just to go out and see them do it and see the players who are doing it do it.
Bill, how's the progression of the tight end group going, and what's the impact with losing a player like Gronkowski on that group and the offense too?
Well, the progression of all the positions are it's contained within that position. Again, we're getting better every day. We have a lot of individual work out there against blocking and route running and so forth, and Then we have group periods and we have team periods. So there's chances for players to improve their fundamentals, their overall execution of the plays in 7-on-7 and team situations. So again, I think everybody's improving, everybody's getting better. We have a lot of guys out there, a lot of guys working hard, and they have good competition in a lot of spots. So we'll see how it all plays out. I don't know. We got a long way to go.
How does the grade of the Lions Hill compare to the one back home?
Well, it was warm out there yesterday. I think everybody felt it. So, yeah, good to get on a different hill. Not a lot of run out on the back of it. It's,
Fall right out
yeah,
there.
off the edge. So
You gotta pull up a little.
we don't have to worry about that part of it. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
So we saw Mike Pellegrino dealing with an arm injury. When does the coaches' in report come out?
Yeah, Mike's. He was day to day there for a while, but I think we'll get him out there. Match him up against Matt. I'm good. Injury for injury. Okay, thank you. All right, see you out there.